Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new series. In this series, we are going to explore firepower threat defense of Cisco. So, basically, this is a next generation firewall from Cisco. In this video, we are going to see how to import it into the EVNG and then how to deploy these nodes into the EVNG lab. So in order to import it into EVNG, let me take you to the EVNG article that explains about same. So if you go to EVNG website and go under the documentation, then here you can find out a link related to Cisco Firepower 7 images. It is under the how to create images. So if you click on this link, then it shows you step-by-step instructions. Those are required to put the firepower images on the EVNG. So we are gonna put two images. One is gonna be a FMC image that will be Firepower Management Center, and other will be the FTD image. So we are going to use FMC in order to manage our FTD. So in order to install the FMC image, first we need the image. We need the KVM image, which is basically a virtual image. You can download it from Cisco. Let me show you the path where to download it from the Cisco. So if you go to software.cisco.com under downloads, and if you select security, firewalls, and then you have to select your firewall management because we are talking about FMC, and then you select secure firewall management center virtual. Uh, just 1 second. It wasn't supposed to happen. Let me just re-click there. So security, and then firewalls, and then firewall management, and then we go to secure firewalls management center virtual, and then you click to firepower management center software. In here, we are going to use what's the image name here? We are going to use 721-40. So it will be under 7.2 and then 7.2.1. So if you see, this is the image, QCOW2 image, Cisco Secure Firewall Management Center Virtual. You need to download this image. And once you have downloaded this image, then you need to upload this image onto a directory, which you will create on this path, cd/opt unetlab add-on QEMU. So first you create the directory, then you enter into the directory, and then you upload the image into this directory, which is not shown here. You can use FileZilla or WinSCP to upload the image. And then you just need to rename this image as this virtioa.qcow2, and then the next step is to fix the permissions. Similar steps are there for the FTD. So you first create a folder on the similar path, and then you move the image onto that folder, and then change the name of the image. You upload it for the FTP to the same image, and then just you fix the permissions. So this is the steps to move the FMC and FTD images to the EVNG to be used in your own labs. Now, where to find the FTD image? Go back to the firewalls. And then under the firewalls, you need to select next generation firewalls. Then we are going to select secure firewall threat defense virtual. Click to FTD software. And then here, if you go to 7.2 and then 7.2.1, yeah, 721, yeah, this is the image we need. You need to download this image in order to import it into the EVNG to be used as a FTD image. So let's first talk about what is Cisco FTD. So people, you have already heard about Cisco has a well-known firewall known as ASA. ASA was not a next generation firewall. Okay, it couldn't do the things like SSL inspection and many other things which next generation firewall can do. So Cisco acquired a company known as SourceFire several years back, and they started integrating that SourceFire software into the ASA. So before FTD came into existence, how you handled this stuff is you have a ASA, and on the same box you have to install another software known as SFR, basically the SourceFire. So it was installed on the same box, but On the box there were two parts: ASA, which can be managed by ASDM and CLI, and then their other part was the source fire, which was then managed by the Cisco Firesite Management Center. So Firesite is just old name for FMC. FMC is the new name for the Firesite. And FTD is a combination of ASA and the source fire. So you don't have two installations on a box. You just have one single operating system that you install, and you enjoy the functionality of ASA and the next generation firewall as well, which comes with the source fire. So that's what FTD is. People often get confused, with these terms: source fire, Cisco ASA, Cisco has FTD, Cisco has FMC, ASDM, and many other things. So ASDM is just a GUI-based, Java-based management solution for the ASA, but FTD can be managed via two ways. One is via FMC, that is Firepower Management Center, and the other is via the FDM. FDM is basically on-box management. If you have one or two firewalls, you can use that. You don't need an FMC. But if you have like more firewalls, like suppose if you have 100 firewalls and you want to manage them, so FMC would be your go-to tool to manage all of them. So FMC is like Panorama for Palo Alto and FortiManager for FortiGate, and also I would say a management server as the checkpoint. So these all are similar tools. These are management solutions to the uh, firewalls there. Now, there are several. It comes in two flavors, virtual as well as the specific hardwares are sold by the Cisco. In terms of hardwares, you have 1000 series, 2000 series, and then the 4000 series and the 9000 series. It depends what hardware you get as per your need. But in this lab, we are going to focus on to the virtual ones because we do not have a hardware. And let me talk something about 4000 series and the 9300 series. So these 4000 series, basically 4100 series and the 9300 series boxes, these are like, I would say these run a specific operating system known as FXOS. So FXOS is like a hypervisor operating system, as you get VMware ESXi stuff on the hardware so that you can create virtual machines on top of them. So on these boxes can run FTD as well as ASA. So these boxes have something known as security engine. So first when the brand new box comes from the company, you configure the management and all, and then you access its chassis manager, which is again the FXOS stuff provides that. Then you access the chassis manager. Then on them you create ASA and FTDs as virtual machines on these boxes. So there are two ways you can create. So on a security engine which is inside this box, you can create a native FTD or ASA, which means entire security engine will be running just one instance, or you can go with the container based deployment as well. And some of them have one security engine, and some of them might have more than one security engine, and they also differ in terms of the performance they provide and the throughputs they have and the ports they have. So 4100s are uh, 4100 and 9300 series boxes are basically very powerful boxes, and you have the flexibility to either run ASA or FTD on the specific security engines on them. I'll try to see if I can gather some screenshots to show you guys. I mean to say how to deploy FTD or ASA onto them, but I cannot guarantee. But I'll try my best to get it further in the series. How do we deploy something on them? And yeah, these are the data sheets for 4100 and 9300 series. You can have a go through them and see what suits as per your need. And then I talked about the source fire module, right, which gets installed on the ASA box itself to provide you the next generation, features. So this is how you used to do it, install and configure a firewall services module on ASA platform. Uh, it has now become a thing of past. Most of the people have already moved to the FTD because this is a single OS and you do not need to worry about installing two operating systems on the same box, and each have their own functionality. Yeah, that's it about the FTD. Now, once you have imported your FTD and you have finished the EVNG stuff, uploading the image and doing, then you just go on to EVNG and then you click on node. And if you search to the firepower word, you will see firepower FMC and FTD folders here. They will be highlighted in the blue. You click on this, then you select the image, allocate resources, and then click save. And similar job you have to do for the FMC as well. So this is gonna be my short lab. Basically it's a very small one. You have internet and management here. So this is my host machine where I'll be accessing FMC, and internet is also accessible via the same interface out. And then you have a LAN switch, then there is a VPC, which we will use as a client machine in order to test the functionality or the rules we are going to create on the FTD. And these rules and everything will be created by this FMC. So this is the FMC that's going to manage this FTD. And yeah, you require, I would say, some resources basically. At least this comes up with default as 28 gigs of RAM. So you can reduce the RAM for the installation, I would say 16 gig, and just run only this node once its installation is complete, and you shut it down. And then when you bring it back, just bring it back with the 10 gig or 8 gig RAM and see if it survives. Otherwise, you will need the more RAM. So these both boxes are really resource intensive. So make sure you have a good configuration at your end in order to run these. Or if you are running even in the cloud infrastructure, then that's a completely different story. You can get the things on demand there. Other than that, we talked about this. We looked at Firepower 4300 Cs. Okay, then that's it for this video. I'm gonna see you in the next video where we are gonna, power up this management center FMC, and we are gonna do the installation part of it, including the providing the IP addresses, setting up the DNS, etc. And we will set up FMC first, and then later on we will go for the FTD. So welcome to this series, and I hope you guys will follow along. And if there are any questions, feel free to ask in the comments or send me a message over the LinkedIn. Thank you. Have a good day.